Hello and Merry Christmas guys, and welcome to another video. Today I want to show you a ski resort build in City Skylines. Like, it's kind of a tradition with these holiday feelings we got now just before Christmas, but I really like making these builds, and hopefully I can show like a few tricks and stuff like that, and maybe inspire you to try something similar yourself. We'll be using some mods, but it's mostly going to be vanilla assets, or it's only going to be vanilla assets, so it's not going to be functional in any way, but it's going to look very nice, I believe, and it's going to be very cozy. I might try to time-lapse most of this video, and sort of just provide information on what's going on instead, but we'll see how it goes. First thing I want to start with is I want to enable the contour lines, so we can see, like, using toggle it, I can enable the contour lines like this. See, like, what is the slope? How should we plan this out? For example, we could plan it out by starting, like, just dragging out potential ski slopes if you wanted to. Could start by designing a sort of village in this bottom sort of cauldron. You could do cable cars. I think we should start with cable cars, honestly. It's the way to get up the mountain. It's the most sort of technical part of it, I guess. And I think I have some ideas. We can use two different ways to make them. You can use like this way here. You can just make a road and aim it somewhere, maybe like up here. Make sure that this angle is 90 degrees. Like that. It lets us a bit longer. And we can go into the cable cars and just place one on each side. And now they should be perfectly aligned. You can also use move it to do this, but it's a nice little trick to make them perfectly aligned. What is the distance here between now? 169. If we do 20-meter increments starting from the bottom, or 20 units, I should say. It's gonna be good. I'm gonna raise up the pillars as well a little bit, so we get some different, more interesting looking pillars. And maybe here we should raise it up another step, so we get those Y-shaped pillars when it starts to sort of get steeper. Kind of like that, maybe? Last step is a little bit steep. Maybe we should replace this pillar here with a little bit taller one. There's a mod called Gravitable Cable Cars, I think, that actually makes the cable cars always sort of follow the not follow the terrain, but follow gravity, which is kind of cool. You're a nerd like me. I'm gonna make this a little bit shorter, actually, so we still have it going a little bit up for the last segment. That's good. Yeah, so that's our first cable car then. This cable car needs to have road access for like services and stuff like that. But actually, now that I think about it, there might be a different way we can get around that. I was planning to do a like service access road going all the way up the mountain, which would probably take me around 10 or 15 minutes just to drag out, because it's such a hard way to get a road realistically up to this elevation. But we could try something completely different. We could try using the pedestrian district here. Like, let's make it a little bit of an experiment. Let's just make this a tiny bit of pedestrian road like that. And let's make this whole district a pedestrian zone. For now. I genuinely had no idea. When I started recording this video, I had no idea I was going to try this, but I think this might actually work. It's interesting how good ideas you sometimes get on the fly in this game when recording videos for this game. Okay, won't really see it if we don't connect it up. So let's reroute and just make a road connection in here from the highway. A little bit of a winding road going out up into this resort area here. And of course, if this is a pedestrian area, we should use the pedestrian plazas and districts thing here. Where is it? It's not in the roads, it's in the parks, right? Yeah, I always struggle a little bit finding it. And the large service point or the medium service point, I don't know if it really matters, but as long as it's a service point. Let's do the big service point and such. So the idea is that this is going to pick up all the garbage from up the top without having to actually make a road there. So we don't have to worry so much about that. That's actually really... I can't believe I didn't think about that before. This is really useful for these kinds of special projects. The pedestrian and plaza... No, what's it called? Plazas and Promenades DLC. Might even like be sort of significant enough to make this be the topic of the video. What I'm doing now is I'm dragging out a few more roads to create a bit of a town, not village, but I guess a bit of a resort down here. Like this is going to be like buildings and sort of houses, holiday rentals and such, and probably also, like, to be honest, like parking lots a lot of the time. And these roads can be pretty steep. Let's have the road going in, though. Let's have at the a nice fancy road with trees, either on the sides or in the median. Like that. So, and the service, the center service thing, the service center, place it relatively sort of central, but not. Yeah, I guess we're placing it there. Yeah, you know what? This works. This works. We should also replace these trees that we just got. Let's replace them with some these generic pines because they look pretty good in winter. They look decent enough, I think. So I think we need at least one more cable car. Let's even do 2 or so. So I'm gonna see if I can't do that. I'm gonna do it a bit differently this time. I'm gonna place one down. Actually, I'm gonna do it in a completely different way. I'm gonna copy these guys we already have because these are perfectly aligned. I'm gonna copy them and I'm gonna rotate them like this. Very helpful move it trick here, but I'm gonna see if we can find some other tops that could be interesting, like routes. I think definitely there should be 2 from the bottom here anyway. And this little hill here is a candidate, I think. It's a great candidate even. I'm gonna place them down. I'm gonna go back into move it and select and press the minus key a few times, like something like that. Something like that. Move them a little bit. And I'm going to move it and height tools align to terrain height like that. Perfect. This is another one of it's already another one of those tricks I didn't. This wasn't my plan, but I get this works perfectly. So, and we can drag out the cable car again. It should be 180 perfectly. The distance we did before was 20. Oh, what is the distance total here? 155. So let's do 20 again. That's good. I like that. I like 20. This is a much shallower cable car. I don't think we need to worry so much about changing the pillar types or like raising the routing. Could do it anyway, I suppose, just for fun. Let's lower it down back here and back into the station. Back into the other station. That's great. So perfect. Now we have 2 of these, and to test this concept now, I need to get the. This is going to be so interesting if it works. Just place another road, another pedestrian path up here. Excuse me, like that. And what else could we do? What else cable cars? I'm thinking about maybe even doing a cable car from here to like up this peak here, which is technically the highest point. So let's try that as well. Let's try a shorter one. Do the same technique here we did. I copy, we move it. Rotate it around. It's a little bit of eyeballing. But there, and gonna raise it to terrain height because it was very much lower. It's a little bit lagging when you move around stuff. This with move it. It's not the intended. It works. Oh, okay, you see, it's not actually perfect. When we get these really close to each other, we do see that they misalign a little bit. So don't have too high expectations. It works, but realistic expectations, and you're gonna be happy. Arrow keys to move them right now is what I'm using, I should say. Okay, let's terrain, align to terrain. This guy needs to be a little bit closer still. Rotate them just a little tiny bit. And a little bit back. Okay, now I think I'm happy. So the good thing about the winter theme is that even though this tree looks really bad, the whiteness of it sort of hides how you see it. You don't see it. It's not as obvious. It's not as in your face as in the other themes. So we could also always use Bobbit to remove it, but frankly, I don't think we need to really. It's not as important anymore. And there we have a sort of cable car going up mountain, or like going inside the mountain. We don't need to add another one of those there, but we should add another one here. Align it to that height. That. So how about, now that it was so easy to add these cable cars, I kind of want to add another one. Should I do that? I kind of want to add another one. Maybe even more than one. Oh, so tricky. So much decisions. No, yeah, but this is fine. We'll do 3. The next thing I would want to do here is like, I would want to make paths to sort of indicate where are the ski slopes going. Where are the ski slopes going? So, like, I think this wall here is just too steep. Like, we could have it, like, to check our sanity, we could just drag out a path like this, the sanity check, and see, like, what is the sloping if we slope this from here to here using network multitool. This is 58 degrees. For reference, I know the steepest slope I've ever been on a ski slope, and the steepest one I think in Sweden is 45 degrees, so that is 15 degrees or so too steep, which is a bit too much. Would it work anyway? Maybe it's not a deal breaker, but I think we need to maybe think about our options. So we could definitely have one route going down like here, following the sort of ridge, the edge of a ridge a little bit, and maybe even it splits up around here, so there's like 2 different routes. You see here there's almost, this part here is almost sort of calling for us to drag down a route. So we're not going to use these. We're just going to use these. These aren't going to be functional, like, is what I'm trying to say. We might even be deleted later. It's just to sort of drag out where we want the paths, so we get an idea of it. And something like that, getting down here. And for the steepest part here, we can check how steep is this now. I'm gonna guess this is like, yeah, you see 26, 24. This is probably, yeah, this is that's a decently sloped slope. It's not the easiest one to, it's not a blue or a green slope. It's maybe a red slope, but it's still very much realistic. It works. What I like to do when I do these things, because, you know, I'm a big nerd and I like skiing, is that, like, we can add sort of split ups and like parts where these split up and sort of meet up again. And I like to do, like, maybe if there's a possibility to do so, like an easier path, like if you don't want to go down the steepest path, maybe you can go down a less steep path, if that makes any sense. So more transport kind of transportation style routes. So here we could have one going down there, connecting up. We could also have one path from here going around here, I think. Little bit iffy though. I think we're gonna have to do it. You never want to sort of go uphill, like that's, or you never, but you want to avoid that because then you might have to, you know, work and use your ski poles and you want to go downhill all the time. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not, you don't want to go uphill. Gravity is your friend. Use it. So it would be very nice. I know this is higher than that point, so it would be nice if we could make a path over here. But then again, it doesn't really need to exist, so let's just wait for that. Okay. I do definitely think that we could do a path going somewhere, like following basically the cable car on this side. And honestly, we could even do a path following or like crossing over the cable car. And we could even do, now with this new technique, if it works with the pedestrian areas, we could even do like a sort of a cable car, or like a route that goes down here and a cable car that can take you back up a mountain. So that could be an interesting thing to do as well if you wanted to make it bigger, but we're expanding the scope much more than I want for this video, so let's just put some restraints on the scope for now. Here, this valley here seems good. Let's do that. This seems perfectly good. And we can do something like that. And it should probably also split up at this point into sort of different alternate routes, you could say. And on this side here, we definitely need a route going down like that as well. But maybe sort of goes into this path here. Maybe even crosses over it. Like there's a large sort of crossing here. I definitely feel like there needs to be more of the really sort of the tricky slopes. So let's see if we can actually get the tricky slopes. You have a steep slope. So let's see if we can get some difficult slopes down here. I feel like that wouldn't be unrealistic. And such, right? Okay, where do we have a distinct lack right now? I think we have a distinct lack anywhere really, but there's not all that much like in sort of smaller lifts and smaller like shorter sort of practice beginner sort of slopes, but there would be like stuff like that down here, like all over this place, like just smaller lifts and such. Could what I've tried in the past is I've actually tried to use what do you call them, train lines to sort of simulate that, but we could also just do a cable car without the cable car stop. That's another thing we could do here. Let's do like a few of those really short small ones here. And the distance could be like 10 meters or 10 units. 10 meters. Why do I keep saying meters? It's obviously not meters. So these guys won't even get the... well, they won't be functional in any way, but... I think it looks good enough just having the cable car. I have used train catenaries for this in the past, but actually I think this might look a little bit better. It's much simpler and much more more of an obvious solution anyway, so. Interesting. Okay, so we do have that path going down there. We do have the paths going out on this side here. So I think now it's time to go into the forest brush here and see if we can sort of clear some of these areas and also sort of paint the borders a bit better, because that's going to be such a huge difference maker in this. Like, where are the trees and where are not the trees? I guess it depends if you're making a ski resort that's on a glacier, like in the Alps, or like if it's more of a lower elevation style ski resort, like maybe in Scandinavia. Where it's cold enough there's more snow at lower elevations, what I'm trying to say. There's all sorts, but something like that. This area here should have more. Okay, it's fine. It's fine for now. Let's clear the path. Clear the path. This side here, let's do trees. Do trees here before the hill starts. Wouldn't have been cleared. And stuff like that. And this smaller slope here should have like it should have paths on both sides. We're gonna do that. Like that. This is the tree painting for this is like when everything just comes together, by the way. I'm gonna remove these rocks because I like the rocks, but I don't like them there. In fact, they work pretty good underneath the main. They work really good underneath the big cable car, so we'll keep them there. But yeah, we don't want trees underneath this, which it will be. Because this one is, the main cable car is so high, it will like let me place trees underneath it, but we wouldn't mind some smaller vegetation, so we might do that later, like create smaller, vegetation pieces on it. Smaller vegetation pieces. You use bushes basically, so. And like so. So it doesn't have to be more complicated than that. Like that is the path now. You can see it. If you remove the contour lines, it's gonna look much more nice, but I'm also thinking maybe we should reduce the probability a little bit of the generic pine tree, maybe like to 20%. Because while I think it's good, it shouldn't be the main tree. Yeah, I think it looks better if we're using the conifers a little bit more. They have a bit more realistic sort of snow cover, I think. Okay, here. So here is actually interesting. Yeah, here we will do a tree line between the two things. Oh, not like that though. So, and we'll do like a very thin line of trees on the other side. We can. Something like that, and And I think that works perfect. This here is a little bit too wide, I think. We can make it better by making it less wide. And let's add some trees here as well. Just to sort of to highlight that some of these paths are only... Like, some of these are basically corridors for the ski lifts, and some of these are actually ski paths. So we make a sort of difference in that respect. Sometimes there's no trees in between, and that's fine as well, but... just painting in some here. And here we would do trees like that. Maybe a bit less trees here. Yeah, so you can go like overboard, like go crazy with trees here and stuff like that. But I think that's good enough for now. Forest brush is such a useful mod. If there's like any mod that is necessary for this thing, this kind of build, it's forest brush. Like, I'm genuinely... You can do it, like almost all of this in complete vanilla. Like, even with the tree placement, but since you have to place like every tree by hand on PC at least, it's much more painful. So, like the cable cars, even the pedestrian areas, all that stuff, everything's vanilla. So, or vanilla plus DLCs, but okay. Now we're going into these bit of a steeper sloped areas. Like that. Might become a little bit more tricky here. We're gonna manage. Another thing you'd want to think about here is like the higher up in elevation, the less trees usually. So like we might have a tree line that sort of starts thinning out the trees when we get closer to the top. Or we don't. Like, maybe everything here is just at relative low altitude and there's trees all the way over, covering the hill, covering the mountain, but it's something you see very commonly in I guess, in Swedish mountains, the Swedish ski resorts. Like, a lot of the bigger places would be, like the bigger tops would be just above a tree line. So these would be empty, and then you would just go, you would ski from an empty sort of top of a mountain summit area, and then you would ski into a forested area. So, which I think is really nice. I really like, I don't know, I like that. And I think it's similar like in the North American places like Whistler and in British Columbia and like in Colorado as well. So less common maybe in places like the glaciers of the Alps, where you would go like extremely high up on basically a glacier, and the lowest point of the sort of whole ski system would be above the tree line essentially. Let's just do some more casual trees. Casual trees? Yeah, I don't know. Stuff like that. I'm gonna do something a little bit crazy now. Because I think we have all the paths relatively well defined. Not really up here though. Let's make them a little bit better defined here. So the plan is to actually go and delete them. Okay, maybe this guy needs to be sloped first, see if we can. 37. As I said, that's steep, but it's not too steep. As we kind of need to have this really, you know, the advanced... There needs to be some advanced stuff for the tryhards. And the tryhards like me. I'm not a super advanced skier or anything like that, but I do really enjoy it. So here I'm gonna try to smooth this out, see if we can remove the cliff texture from it actually, because if it's gonna be a cliff texture and it's not really worth it. And there is going to be a cliff texture, isn't there? Actually, yeah, that slope is going to be too... we could use a different theme, like a map theme and stuff like that to make it work, but for now, it's not worth it. Let's just not do it. So I'm going to delete all of these paths I've made. I'm going to proceed on to just smoothing out now and making it look like these are more like prepared slopes where you can actually ski down. You could use other surface painter mods and like stuff like that to create a more, I guess, sort of prepared ski surface theme vibe, I guess. Could be really fun. Oh, here we missed some here. So I think we can try to improve the surface a little bit here in the upper slopes. Let's see if we can smooth out the slope a little bit more using the actual slope terrain tool here. I'm gonna select a point up here, like at this. I'm gonna right click here, and I'm going to drag from this point, and it should create a consistent slope all the way up there. Don't know if this is gonna work really, but we can try to do the same even here. So and the corner here is going to be a little bit sketchy almost regardless what we do, but I think this could work. I don't mind this. Smooth it out a little bit to make it a bit less awkward, and I think we got something here. Was the plan ever to use this as a slope? I don't think so. I really don't think there was a slope ever, so let's do the same trick here. We can. Slope terrain tool is one of those tricks that I didn't know about until way too late in my life. It's very useful. It's a vanilla tool as well, so you can use it in regardless of which mods you may be using or may want, or you're not using. So lower this thing, this station a little bit, and it's going to be a bit easier to make a good path down here, I think. Excuse me, my voice. Apparently my voice is... we have done this video for too long already. It's a good sign. Usually happens when I stream as well. At some point my voice gives up a little bit. So... let's see here. And we need to redo the sloping a little bit here. I think actually what we had was pretty good. It's going to be hard to beat what we had, so I'm not going to try to overdo it too much. I'm not going to get too greedy with it. We do need a path down here though, so that's something we would want to do. I'm not sure where the path should actually go from. Should it go like sort of swivel around, maybe even like the path would sort of swivel around this way? I think that makes the most sense, given the sort of positions of the cable cars. Oh no, that's too much. It's a good thing you can control Z with the terrain editing as well if you're using extra landscaping tools. All this stuff is basically vanilla options, but extra landscaping tools makes it a bit easier for you, so highly recommend using that mod as well. So I don't want people to accidentally go down the wrong slope here, so I'm just gonna make some like go down the wrong side. So we'll make some sort of fake, like maybe forcing them into going that way, or like sort of at least hinting. There's gonna we could do this with fences. We could do this with like signs and stuff like that as well. People are always going to go down, like, you know, find other ways to get down the hill. Like that's part of the excitement of skiing, I think. But yeah, one option, of course, as we talked about before, could be like another slope going down this way. But should we do that? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Okay, so this slope here is pretty fine for the most part, except here in the beginning, where it's doing some sussy stuff. And also this side here, we're gonna have a slope. Okay, let's try this with the slope tool for now, okay. This might be less than ideal, but let's try it. Should have worked better, honestly, but okay. Oh. Okay, and we do like that kind of stuff there. Or we don't do this thing here at all, and we just do the straight down to this point. That's another option. Yeah, this is gonna work out. It's fine. And it's going to be relatively steep, but it's fine. And there could be a sort of small, almost like transport kind of route between these guys here. So you could turn off the main path here and get into this area. So. And you know, we'll just smooth it out so it's not completely rocky everywhere, and then we'll make the paths defined with the trees instead, as we've done it before. So it's gonna make it a lot easier. So this path here, like that. And this side, you go down here. That's great. And also, here you get the sort of crossroads. Here you can select, like, are you going left or are you going right? Both are valid options. I like that. I like this area a lot here. And let's smooth it out. Try to get as much... Get it as sort of white and as snowy as possible, so it doesn't look like you're just skiing on rocks, which wouldn't be greatest. Well, not too much of it anyway. So, let's see if we can get some of those trees on both sides here. Okay. Might be a bit trickier here, actually. Let's do it like that, and a really small brush, and just delete it. And then do something like that. Yeah. And honestly, like with what I'm seeing now, we could easily just connect these two sides up as well for most of it. It would make much more sense, honestly. Let's see if we can delete that hump a little bit. Go back to a bigger brush again, and I think we said that area here is basically not gonna have any paths there. And there's no paths here as well, but we're just gonna make it a bit more sparse with trees here, because like it's more wind swept, we pretend, or like it's above the tree line. But you know, something like that. And here maybe let's do a bit more trees, like so. And oh yeah, here's the crossover here. Okay, nice. Which means this, because of when you think about it, like these are two different kind of like lane mathematics, right? If you have two sort of ski paths that converge, they should for safety and I guess skier flow, they should be wider down sort of where after they converge. So we can try to think about the same way as we do with highways. Okay, let's see if we can just paint some trees here to transition the ski resort into the surroundings a bit better. So we don't have to go crazy. We don't have to go crazy, but we don't have to go crazy far either, so. But I like that. I'm also seeing now there should be another path, like just going this way here, so let's do that. You can always just add more paths, it's so great. But here, and let's select something like that, flatten the terrain a bit. It's gonna be definitely a smaller path, I think. A smaller route. Let's see. Come on. And we'll do the tree defining thing again. But see, it sort of goes perfectly into our bowl down here, so it would be a shame not to add it. The next step is to do the sort of town itself here. And also add some services, so I think I'll do a short time lapse of adding the services. I kind of want to grow in this area, but I don't think we're going to grow it in with zoning. We're going to find some buildings that we like. I'm going to go into the growables. I'm going to look for some high-density commercial, or high-density residential first. Let's see if we can find something that looks like a generic ski resort style. And honestly, I think that the Green City, ironically enough, the Green City DLC, Green Cities DLC buildings look pretty good for like the ski hotel kind of vibe. Like at least the more modern style anyway. So we could do, for example, like one of those. And probably also one of those. Maybe that's the sort of main, the big resort building, or maybe not that building, but in this location. It's too high though. It's a little bit too high. Can we get something a little bit smaller, maybe? Not that much smaller. You know what? I'm fine with that one. Never mind. I will be fine with these guys. Like the rustic wood panels there. That's nice. Even have the covered balconies, which, like, I feel it wouldn't be completely unbelievable in a place like this. So let's do that, and look what else we have. Like for the low density, or like we're also gonna use some low density buildings here, and I'm gonna try to find the most sort of rental cottage kind of style building I can find. And I think it's going to be from quite possibly these guys with a porch are not that bad, honestly, but it could also be the guys from European suburbia. European suburbia buildings don't look that bad for this kind of stuff. But basically we're looking for like one building we can place a large amount of times. We want to copy and paste it all over. And since this place is already taking more inspiration from like maybe places I visited, like Scandinavia, might as well use some Scandinavian style or like some European style buildings. I don't think we want the hedges though. We could bob them out. But if we can find some good buildings without the hedges, that would be great. They're all gonna have hedges, I think. It's even the Korean buildings. Don't even look that bad. Can do some mixing here. So let's just decide on something for now and then see like where it goes. So I've decided on this building here. Let's pretend that hedge is instead just a wall or a fence. And we're gonna place it like over and over again all the way down the hillside like that. And it's rather important that it is the same style of building many times over, because that's what sells the idea of it being a sort of holiday rental kind of complex. Like all buildings would be the same or very similar style, built in one go, basically. So can we maybe get some power in? Ah, that works perfect. Okay, let's see what more buildings we could do. Maybe the college, the university city buildings aren't that bad, actually. See, a few of those. I don't necessarily like the trees that much, though. Maybe something else. Once again, we could always bob it. Always bob. But we don't need to worry so much about repetition here, because repetition is key in this kind of style. Stuff we're building right now. Doesn't have to be perfectly spaced out, but like we should almost never do less than. We should always almost always do more than one of the same building, like next to each other. That's the general sort of idea here, anyway. Okay. And this road here. Nah, I don't like those there. I also find that using residential for this is the best way to get actual sort of functionality, like people would be living here. Oh, those are upscale. These guys have pools, which isn't very weird for a ski rental sort of, like it would be some kind of a hot tub thing. I'm gonna break my own rule. I'm gonna place one house there of one kind, and the rule lasted so long. It lasted like a total of 1.5 minutes. It's fine. But no, I don't think so. I'm also specifically looking to only place like buildings that have slanted roofs, because slanted roofs help a lot when you're trying to not to get snow off your roof, basically. So slanted roofs are good for a ski ski resort style build. The more slanted, the more better, I guess. I didn't particularly like those houses there, but let's see if we can find something else. No, I don't think so either. Let's do those there. Why not? We also have this road going up here, but we could definitely use for some nice houses. Keep doing houses all the way up. Same house. Do the same house on the other side. We'll do a bit of a break there. Do a bit of break there as well. And like 2 or 3 of these style even. Or actually no, that's fine. No, not like that. But maybe here. I don't know. A bit different, but okay. So there we have basically our ski resort village, and one thing we can do now is not all these roads would be paved, and we could make them gravel roads because the gravel will be covered very nicely with snow in Snowfall. Like it will melt into the surroundings a lot. So if we don't want these to be super obvious, we can do like that. And it's gonna look much better. So there you go. We need to smooth the terrain around them though, because the buildings have a footprint. They flatten the terrain, that creates the cliff texture a little bit more than it should be, maybe. So we're gonna just smooth out the terrain and do some stuff with it in the worst places. Don't have to do it everywhere, but so it looks like this they're more naturally placed or like fit into the hillside or whatever. It's more of a City Skylines trick or a fix, I guess. And yeah, we have starting to a small little town. I also placed a police station here. Can't really say why, but I kind of like the building. It doesn't look bad, but maybe we should move it. So maybe we should move it. Maybe we should. Maybe just move it there. I don't know. And let's place some commercial buildings now. Let's see if we can find some commercial buildings that fit this aesthetic that we're going for. An ice cream shop would be very funny. This would be like stuff like ski rental. Everything would be like, all the commercial stuff would be revolving around skiing. So, but we could also do like a gas station here at the entrance, like a gas station specifically maybe for like with special accommodation for like snowmobiles and stuff like that. It's a fun little thing. Could add. Could do this restaurant kind of thing here. Nice. See how well this corner shop works. This corner shop works pretty well, honestly. But I'm having a little bit of second thoughts on this street, so let's try and have like less trees here, maybe. How about we do it like that and have it be this way instead. Not entirely sure why, but kind of like this a little bit more, I think. Testing things. We can always place trees in other ways, so let's just delete that, and don't have this road that doesn't have to go that much longer either, so we could easily just have this be some kind of dead end or some turnaround point. Could be like the bus stop, for example. Like if there's a bus service to this town, this could be like the bus stop. We could also do parking lots, or we should do parking lots rather. I'm gonna see if I can do some IMT parking lots, our trusted way of doing that. But after we've placed a few more of the commercial buildings, we need one thing at a time. These buildings are pretty good because they look generic enough for this kind of style. You can sort of fit it into that building even. A really nice thing with the winter theme is that because the roofs get covered with snow, you can do so much clipping with buildings like that, and it won't even really be looking that weird. So Snowfall is, I think, still a very underrated DLC in many ways. How about that building there? I don't know. Generic looking office kind of thing. And on this side, let's do a small like restaurant thing. Maybe we can do covered shop is pretty cool as well, I suppose. Would make a lot of sense for a snowy area. Oh my god, the building becomes just snow deluxe, but okay, I like it. It's just snow everywhere. I'm having second thoughts about the pennies though. Let's replace it with whatever this is. A bit more generic, a bit more boring, but it's fine. Maybe we should even try to get sort of some tourist hotel kind of stuff in here. Oh, we can do a connected arcade with these two guys here. Nice. And whatever this is. I feel like these houses here need to be replaced. We're having so much fun with the commercial center here. This is a specific Snowfall nightclub, a winter nightclub. Oh, then we have to do a winter nightclub. There's no way we're not doing that, I guess. And let's do a small alleyway here. Now that it sort of appeared to us. Small alleyway going that. And what can we do here even? I was actually looking for the hotels, but I found the nightclubs and stuff like that. That's another one, winter cafe like this. I've been told about these, but I very rarely see them, so I guess we have to place them now that they become obvious for us. So it's even a winter private pool asset, which is kind of funny. Yeah, we could of course go crazy with this, but I'd love to have like maybe some other big hotel kind of thing here in this area. Without having it, of course, be too big. Sort of needs to fit into the size of area in general, but I think that works. Could have the dining area for the winter cafe. That. And I still think there needs to be a better... There's a better hotel out there. There is. There has to be. That's too big. Bulky gold beach doesn't really fit. Simply is this guy. But maybe we can do it. Maybe we can do it a bit cheeky. Maybe we just sort of try to fit it into these buildings, so it looks like, you know. Something like that. Even here. So many options. So many options. What is this? Winter nightclub. Another winter nightclub? Interesting. Yeah, there's a lot of options here. Ooh, we could do something with this guy also. I think this one is the one we want. Because we can put these guys together. And like create weird shapes even. Not weird shapes, but we can create shapes. So, what if we like rotate this entire block a little bit? And, you know, do that. And I move this back because I realized it has to be there, but we can do the patties thing here on the corner. I think these guys are the way to go. I'm gonna raise some of them up so that they don't create weird sea fighting. Kind of like that. I think we have to move this guy back because it makes more sense now. And this alley, if we're still gonna have it, it's gonna be moved something like that. And let's keep this area a little bit empty. We've overdone it with buildings, I think. Or we don't want to overdo it more than we already have, so we have a small ski town here. Okay, that's great. What we need to do now is we need to decorate it up with some Parklife buildings, I think, because there's plenty of that around. Especially the nature Parklife buildings, the natural. All these small little cabins, which I believe my global Bob settings removes the trees from, but it's fine. Looks pretty similar. Can do one of these guys with like a snow cabin pit thingy. And like these small, I don't want to say igloos. What are we called? Like not campsites either. They're called fireplaces. Like a really nice. Like ideally, we would put this stuff up the slopes as well. If we could do like paths and do a park with access, we would do these guys up the slopes as well. But it's a bit of extra detailing. Let's just place some down here for now. It's absolutely something we could do. And since this is the bus stop now, I guess we should do a small bus parking, or a bus and taxi depot parking thing, which we can using this guy here. Great. Like so. So the next thing I would want to do, I think, is what is left even? Like there's not a lot left. Like we could do paths up and add those Parklife buildings to them, but then we'd have to sort of conflict with our pedestrian area. which is fine. The pedestrian is only needed for the cable cars. Hasn't been complaining anything yet, which is good. Yeah, they're complaining about water though, which just makes sense. We actually forgot to do water, so we'll add a water tower. Add a water tower up on this hill behind. And yeah, that could be done. Like it's a great idea. We could do that to add these small campsites all along the sides. But I think what I really want to do, the last details, is I want to do fences for the ski slopes and lighting, so it looks good at night as well. So we'll go into the prop menu and we'll go and find. Let's do the fences first. When it comes to vanilla fences, an error occurred. Okay, it's probably fine. Oh no, it's probably fine. It's probably not fine. Oh no. Let's search for chain link, maybe, please. Okay, natural disasters adds a very nice chain link fence we can use. But I don't know if it's going to cause me errors whenever I have it up. There's probably some mods that I haven't fully updated yet, so. But we'll see. We'll see if this works. Gonna go for the fence mode here. You can use the old version of Prop Anarchy if you want here, or such. And we're not gonna do the whole sides with fences, but we are going to do like some certain areas, like maybe more sort of dangerous parts, I guess, and areas where there's more sort of higher speed, more risk for sort of crashing. So for example here to avoid hitting that rock thing there, maybe at this bend here, or like at this sort of split, the Y split, the fork in the road. We should even do a fence a little bit like that. And we can go completely crazy with these fences. We can do the entire hillside if we want, like the entire slope, all the slopes, all the sides with fences. But I don't think we're gonna, because that's gonna be probably a bit too much for the video. But we'll do it in this area, and next will be to do the lights. Oh no, the reason why, like, these fences don't look that much for the world right now, but if we select move it and use the pipette tool and select them like this, and then just select everything we put down in the slopes. Prop Anarchy and Prop Painter mods before it has the option to repaint these guys, so the chain link fence is the wrong color, but the orange color is really important, like really nice. It sells it a lot. To be fair, it doesn't really look, you can't really see it that clearly when you zoom out anymore, but I really think it's a good detail to add. Look at that, that's great. So we'll do it like so, and I noticed another thing here actually. What happens if I... Yeah, we could play around with the textures as well, because the grass texture has these sprites by default. If you have another theme, you could, for example, have a ruined theme be like the color you use for the pistes, for the slopes, and then you could have it look a lot better. I don't think I have that right now, but you know what, I'm gonna just show you. It's gonna be a long video anyway. You know what, it's just gonna be a long video anyway. This is pretty, like, it's a video in replace in change. Oh my god, instead of a very long stream that I did last year. It's gonna be this video instead. So let's see, what kind of winter theme stuff do we have? We have a... I'm just pressing on the white ones, so I probably shouldn't. Not that one. Sometimes you find the weirdest... Oh, who would have known Snowy Slopes by Mr. Miyagi is a great great theme for this. I'm gonna use... It's just too good. I can't not use that. And now we need to do the ruined everywhere here. All the way down. It's just too good. Don't have to worry about like not missing any spot or anything like that, but try to paint it wherever there's slopes, so east. Okay, so you can see it's a slight difference. It's like a slight improvement. I think it's totally worth it. Like, I would do this, but it's up to you. Like, you can definitely get it working okay with vanilla as well. And if we changed the cliff theme, the cliff texture, for example, we could probably get something that works a little bit better for our slopes as well. So let's... Now we've already gone down this way of doing things, so let's just do it. And don't be afraid to try cliff themes, cliff textures that are completely out of... like, that are completely different from what you expect, because... even like a Grand Canyon a texture theme for cliffs could work on a snow map, for example. So this one looks beautiful, but I don't think we can. We should use it, maybe. I don't know. Snowy Slopes is close again. It's like either that or something that removes the thing entirely, but we'll try. Surely there's something that's gonna work good. Another thing we could do is we could find something that the not so rocky one is actually pretty great for this, because we're just gonna use the not so rocky one because it does less rocky cliffs, and yeah, it might look a little bit weird because we have used the cliffs a little bit to define the paths, but just means we can use the fences and the surface paint to define them instead. So, like, I'm just giving you ideas now. I'm not gonna say like this is right or this is wrong, whatever. But I'd be doing you a disservice if I didn't sort of tell you about all the things you could do. So I was trying to take the lazy way out, just making a short like here is how I do it. But no, let's get some options in here. That looks great. Okay, so now what we've actually done with theme mixer stuff, even though I didn't expect to or really plan to do it, how about we do the lighting? Because if we go to the night view right now, it's going to be a bit disappointing, right? It's going to be a little bit disappointing. But sunset is amazing though. But we can fix this. We can fix this using lights. What lights to use is that is a topic as well. Can test some out, I suppose. Like, for example, yeah, I have some light flickering a little bit, but let's see here. These are very small and close to the ground. It would be very good if we could have something larger, like higher above. It sort of spreads out of a larger area, and I think we have that in the highway light. We need to disable because it's not in the light menu. Oh no, it's airport light I was thinking about. I was thinking about the airport light. Now the airport light is very big instead, but we could have it in like certain areas, like this, and it would kind of make sense. Like provides a pretty good diffuse light for these areas. And we could sort of gradually make less of them as we go up the hill. We could also use prop anarchy to shrink them and make them a bit smaller if we wanted to. But once again, this is just one option. We should also look at some other ones. I think that normal street lamps are a good alternative as well. Street lamp, and they of course come in different colors as well. Street light, maybe, or is it light? Is it lamp? All road. They come in a different, like some different color options. So we could have, like, for example, more yellow light. We wanted that. It's very cozy. Or like more white, more LED blue. All the options are available to us, and the same with these guys. If we think these guys are too small, we could scale them up using prop anarchy as well. Whereas the light becomes a bit interesting, but so that's one option. They're a little bit more discreet in that they're not as massive as the large highway or the airport lights. We just said we could scale down, so might as well do it, right? And you can see how good it looks with the lights. The lights really sort of make this pop and become something very beautiful. A lot of ski resorts that I know wouldn't have entirely lit up ski systems. They would only have like a small part of it like being lit up so you could go at night. For example, like the main slopes. Like it could be maybe this route down here. And maybe also this guy on the other side. So it's like a limited part of the system would be lit up. Kind of curious to see if I can select all the airport lights and scale them down. I never tried this before. It seems to work. Yeah, so you can select them all in one go and scale them. That's pretty good, actually. Yeah. Nice. Oh my goodness. I think that in total I probably have something around 2 hours of footage right now. I'll cut it down. I'll aim for like maybe releasing 1 hour of it in total, but this has been me building a ski resort for you and getting errors. And hopefully I can inspire you guys to try similar stuff yourselves if you want to. Those hotels. Crazy lights, crazy after ski going on down here. It's all part of it though. And also the a bit scary lights. Let's go back to daytime and sort of, I guess, fade out here. Thanks guys for watching, and if you liked this video, please consider liking and subscribing, and I wish you all a Merry Christmas and a great start to the new year.